Good evening, everyone. We are super happy to welcome you for our 11th Demo Day in Tokyo. So my name is Sylvain, for those of you who don't know me, along with Douglas here and Jan, who's somewhere hiding. Where the hell is Jan? Over there, yeah. And the team of TAs. Again, we are extremely happy. I think this is the biggest audience we've had since the very beginning. So thank you very much for coming, especially because tonight there is another big party somewhere in Otemachi, but this sucks. So we're happy to have you. So before I start, there are two small intros that I want to make. First of all, about the space. So how many of you come here for the first time? At Impact Hub. Okay, that's quite a lot of people. Cool. So this space is called Impact Hub Tokyo. It's a worldwide chain, and in Tokyo it's been around for, I believe, 6-7 years, and it's a co-working space dedicated to social businesses and entrepreneurs. So if you are looking for a really cool space to work, I strongly recommend this space. They'll be happy to welcome you. I think Mami over there and Ji, part of the community management team, will be happy to talk to you and introduce you to the space. So don't hesitate to go and talk to them. They're really nice, and they have to deal with us every single day. It's really hard. So you can imagine the level of niceness that they have. That's the very first thing. And the second thing I want to introduce, of course, is Le Wagon. So I guess most of you know about Le Wagon. Who doesn't know anything about Le Wagon? Okay, who knows? Okay, some. I see this girl is like. Okay, who knows a lot about Le Wagon? Cool, awesome. Yeah, you guys want to pitch it or? No, I'll take care of that. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what Le Wagon is a coding bootcamp. So what we do is in 9 weeks full-time or 24 weeks part-time, we take our students from the level at the very beginner level. So some of our students have never coded before. We take them from that level to the level of junior web developer. And so after they graduate, they're going to find jobs as web developers in Tokyo or abroad. Some of them will start their companies. Some of them will become freelancers, product managers, or designers. This is the 11th batch in Tokyo. We've had over 200 students. It's the 310th, as you can see here, batch worldwide. We have over 6,000 alumni in our community. So how do I conclude that sentence? It's a lot of people. What you're going to see tonight are the project that our students developed in only 10 days. So they've been working really hard. We were here last night until 11 to add the finishing touch to those projects. And, I'm sorry. Yeah, to add the finishing touch to those projects. And they're going to pitch those projects to you tonight. I think that's pretty much it for me. If you have any questions, anything you want to ask, meet us afterwards for the really cool networking sessions. But for now, I think we're on for the pitches. And so first of all, I'd like to welcome Gerard on stage for Affini.
Happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. My name is Gerard, and I am a developer on the Affini team. So quick question, how many of you are on social media? Now keep your hands up if you have at least, on all platforms combined, 100 connections. 200. 500? 1,000. Okay. Now, think in your head, how many of those people do you actually check in with on a regular basis? For me, I have a hard time keeping track of the people that I meet. I'm a musician in San Francisco, and I meet a lot of people who happen to have connections to venues I'd like to play in, or artists that I would like to collaborate with. I've also started attending web developer meetups, where I meet potential colleagues, collaborators, and recruiters. That is a lot of people, folks. And that is why my team and I developed Affini. Now, Affini is not a social media platform. Affini is a tool that you can use to develop stronger and more genuine relationships. So let's see how I'm doing. On this page, I can immediately see the most important information I need to take action on. I can see check-ins that I need to leave feedback for. And a check-in is simply the action of reaching out, whether it be sending an email or grabbing a coffee. I can also see that I need to get back in touch with two of my friends, Tom and Ji-young. So let's go see their profiles. On Ji-young's profile, I can see exactly our previous contacts, a record of some communication, and exactly how well I'm doing at meeting our contact frequency that I set when I put her profile into Affini. And that is measured by our affinity level. I can see that I'm doing pretty well, so I don't need to do anything here for now. But let's go visit my friend Tom. So you can see that I'm not doing as well with Tom as I had hoped to do initially. I set the frequency for Tom to be every week, and I have not been hitting that as much as I would like to. But that's okay. On his profile, I can see that today is his birthday. So why don't we send him a message? I just want to let him know that I'm wishing him a happy birthday and that I'd like to probably celebrate with him. And just by hitting a check or creating a check-in, Affini can tell that I'm taking action to build a stronger relationship with Tom. Now earlier, Affini actually sent me an email about some LinkedIn connections that I've made. And I can put them directly into Affini. So we're going to take a look at my connections and then onboard them. On this page, I can see my most recent LinkedIn connections and put them into Affini and set a frequency of how often I would like to keep in touch with them, from weekly to yearly. Lois here was a recruiter that I met. She seemed to be really excited about talking to me, and we had a really good conversation. I am looking for new opportunities in web development, so let's get in touch with her weekly. Virgil talked quite a bit, like a lot. He was so excited about this app idea, and he told me all his business plans and exactly what it's going to take, and that he needed a couple freelance developers to join his team. Now, I don't know if I have exactly enough time between practicing my dev skills or applying for jobs, so what I'm going to do is check in with him monthly, simply because I'm really interested in what he's offering. Oh, Savant. That dude is like the boss of this place. Yeah. And now that I'm finished with the bootcamp, we were having a conversation. I think he wanted me to teach the next batch. I'm going to keep that conversation going, so we'll set him to weekly. Now, we made plans to grab coffee next week and hopefully I can get that job, hint, hint. So we're going to go to Sylvan's profile, and I'm going to add a check-in. So drinks next week on Tuesday. And as you can see, the affinity level went from 0 to 100 simply because I met my frequency of check-ins that I set for Sylvan. And I can take a look at all of my check-ins all at once, organized into this calendar, along with details and a description of what exactly those were. Folks, that is Affini in action. Using this platform, I'm able to keep track of the influx of people that come in and out of my life and develop stronger relationships with the people that matter to me. Thank you so much. Folks, a big shout out to Ji-young driving, also part of the Affini team. I want to thank Maxime, who's probably hitting his head against the wall. Oh. And my buddy Tom, also part of the Affini team. Folks, it is his birthday today, so. And thank you for the opportunity, Wagon. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sriram, and tonight we have an app for travelers. So here's a question. Who among you loves to travel? Sort of almost everyone, right? So I'd love to travel as well, and I'm quite a travel buff. I love visiting different places, different destinations, and exploring new cultures. But there are two problems that irk me whenever I plan a trip. So the first one. So whenever I plan a trip, I actually go on Chrome, go on my browser, and start typing in searching results for that particular city or the destination that I want to visit. But what generally happens is I keep searching, keep researching, and my screen looks like this, where I have a million tabs open. Right? Sounds familiar? So what invariably happens is, in the wilderness of those tabs, there is this one place that I really wanted to visit, and somehow I had just forgotten about it. Another problem that I face is in actually organizing my trip. So there is no good tool out there for actually planning and organizing your trip. And invariably, the blame, or rather everyone sort of relies back on Microsoft Excel. Again, sounds familiar, right? But as anyone would who has used Excel for planning a trip would say, it's such a hassle actually planning your trip on Excel, right? You have so much information on almost all tabs, and just connecting everything is just a mess. So luckily, we have a solution for these two problems, and that's Travva. So Travva helps you simplify your travel by solving the two problems that I talked about. So let me actually take you through how we can solve these two problems. So I am actually planning a trip next weekend to Singapore for a few days. Yeah, and yeah. So I'm planning a trip to Singapore, in case you didn't hear me, over the next weekend, and I've been researching a few places. So let's go back to that tab mess that we saw earlier. So two places that I really want to visit. So this one of them is this bird park, sounded really interesting. And there's a zoo as well, so which we'll come to later. So yeah, so if we go to the bird park, I really want to save this item somewhere so that I can put this in my itinerary later. So what I will do is I will use the Travva Chrome extension, and I'll simply say add it to my bucket list. And I have my information in my bucket list, right? So let's add one more item. So let's add the zoo as well, because yeah, the bird park and the zoo should go together, I guess. So let's add that as well, and yeah, so we should have those two in our bucket list. So let's go back to the app now. So if I visit my bucket list, I see all the destinations and the places that I ever wanted to visit. But I not planned a trip for them so far, so they are there for keeping it safe, and I will visit them in the future. So let's check it for Singapore, because that's the destination that I actually want to visit. So if I filter the results, I see the places that I have already stored in the bucket list, along with the two that I just saved from the Chrome extension, right? So I have quite a few places over here, and I'm going for a short trip. So let me actually plan my trip, because I think I have the places that I want to visit. So let me plan my trip. I will choose, of course, Singapore, in case, again, you haven't heard. So that would be the country that I would pick over here. And maybe I'll say it's a weekend trip to Singapore. And I think I'll go for 3 days. So the extended weekend from Saturday to Monday. So from the 7th to the 9th. And I created my trip now, and all I need to do is to actually plan my itinerary. So if I go on the trip, I can see all the items related to Singapore that were there in the bucket list. So let me plan out my itinerary for each of the days that I'm there in Singapore. Right? So for the first, that is the 7th of December, I will be going to the bird park and the zoo that I selected from the Chrome extension. And then for the 8th of December, I think it's a Sunday, so I have a little more time. So I will be choosing the Chinese garden. I will have the night safari. And of course, the Henderson waves. But there's one problem, which is that I need to visit the night safari right at the end of the day. So I'll just drag that towards the end of the day. And finally, the last day is reserved for the last 2 places that I want to visit. So I'll be, of course, going shopping at Marina Bay Sands, and I'll be going to the Tiger Sky Tower. And that's it. My itinerary is done in just a few seconds. So if I go to the overview, then I can see all of the items, all of the places that I wanted to visit in this trip, ordered in the manner as per date, and the places on the map as well. And if I review my trip, I have all of this information in one place, which I can just print out on a PDF if ever required. So in terms of planning your trip, Travva makes it really simple. Use the Chrome extension to save all the items to the bucket list that you ever wanted to go, and use the app to plan your travel and simplify your travel. Thank you so much. And before I forget, I thank the team members who were incredible. So Sabrina and Sylvia over there. And Emmanuel, who couldn't be here today. So thanks to everyone. Yeah.
I hope everyone's having a good time tonight. My name is Taisei Yamada, and I am recently into debating. So just a quick question before I begin. Who here has debated or has been in a debating club before? Awesome, cool stuff. So the reason why I got into debating was because I actually took debating classes in university when I was in Florida. And honestly, it was the most exciting learning experience that I had ever had, because for one, you could just totally improve your communication and persuasion skills just in a very interactive manner. And two, every single time you debate about a topic, you deepen your knowledge about that topic. So it's a good thing, right? Like every time you debate, you learn something new. It's perfect. And so I thought it was really fun. And I was trying to find a debate club, or at least someone to debate with when I came back to Japan. But unfortunately, in Japan, debating isn't really that popular. So after a few weeks of being sad, I went on the internet and then sort of just like started looking up for debating apps. But all I found were text-based debate apps. That was not what I wanted. I wanted to speak. I wanted to debate live, right? And then I just thought, you know what? Like, if it doesn't exist, why not just make my own, right? Easy peasy, lemon squeeze. So that's why my team made Ronpa, an online debating platform that allows you to debate with anybody in the world live about any kind of topic. Now, since I have graduated Wagon officially and am a software developer, I feel like I am pretty knowledgeable about programming in general. So I'm going to go to my dashboard and see if I can find any topics about programming that I can debate on. All right, so right now I am a gold rank member. I have 6 wins and 8 losses, so I'm like all right at whatever I'm doing. So under the play section, I'm just going to be looking at searching for topics that is related to programming, if I can find any. Nah, okay, yeah, I can't really find any. So I'm just gonna go browse for more topics to see if I can find something that is code related. Oh, look at that. Coding Bootcamp offers a more practical experience than a computer science degree. I know, don't get so heated up, gentlemen and ladies. So that seems interesting. So I'm just gonna go inside and look at the topic. So on this page, I have to fill out 3 arguments for each side. The affirmative side, which is basically the side that is supporting the argument, and the negative side, which is the side that is opposing the argument. Now, I have 2 arguments pre-filled inside, and I just need 1 more for each side. So who can give me an affirmative argument? Why do coding bootcamps offer like a practical experience more than computer science degrees? Anyone? Savon. Huh? All right, well.
Focus on building products.
They focus?
Yeah.
Cool, that's an interesting argument. All right, so what about a negative argument? Why are computer science degrees more practical than coding bootcamps?
More into the theory of what you learn.
Good point. All right, so now I have my 6 arguments fulfilled, so I'm just going to go straight into my debate. Right, so over here I have Edward as my opponent, who is in the negative position, and I am in the affirmative position. And also Bogdan over there is the moderator who will be judging us. And before I begin joining the call where all of us will be connected, I'm just going to be quickly explaining the flow of the debate. So essentially, you will have two sides, as I just said. They will begin with an opening statement, and both sides will move on to rebuttal against each side's opponent's opening argument. And then they will close with a closing statement. And after that, the moderator will judge them, and they will basically rate them and just tell us who wins. So I'm just going to join the call right now.
Hey guys,
Hello.
I'm gonna be your moderator today. I hope you're ready, and I'm gonna start the game.
Hey, Bogdan.
Hey guys, I'm ready to go.
Cool. I am also ready to go whenever you guys are. I'm ready to give my arguments. Right. So I'm gonna first say that coding bootcamps are more practical than computer science degrees because, for one, coding bootcamps have a higher practice to theory ratio, which means coding bootcamps in general offer more of a hands-on experience, which means actually coding, building applications, building projects, and preparing us for the workforce. However, in computer science degrees, they basically focus on teaching you theories, which is cool. And they also teach you about things that are not really exactly relevant to coding. So that's why I think coding bootcamps are more practical. So I end my turn.
All right, thank you, Shindosu. So I'm going to argue that computer science degrees are actually more practical, more important. So when it comes to employability, sure, a coding bootcamp might get you through the door, but if you want to have a long and successful career in web development, you need the depth of theoretical knowledge and logical thinking that you can only get from a full-time degree studying computer science. Thank you.
Fair point. All right. Well, I would just like to say that you mentioned that we need a wider knowledge. However, most of the time, those knowledges wouldn't really exactly be used in real life. I mean, let's be honest, right? And the things that are actually needed in your work, your company will actually teach you. So in a sense, coding bootcamps, you will gain more hands-on experience, which is much more needed in the real workforce. I end my turn.
All right, thank you very much. So you mentioned that you get a lot more, you get a lot higher level of practice to theory. That is true. But I think that you, overall, over the whole scope of a computer science degree, you still get a lot of practice done. You still get a lot of overall hours of study. So yeah, that should be more than enough to outweigh 9 or 10 weeks of just coding. Thank you.
Okay, anyway, so we're in our closing statements. For time's sake, we're just gonna be skipping over through the closing statement and going straight into the final scoring phase to see who won, me or Edward. I hope I win. I hope I win.
Hi guys, I think you both did a good job, but I felt like Shindosu's arguments were a bit more compelling, so I'm gonna give him the win.
Yeah, I won. Ha! All right. So, well, I mean, I did win, but obviously I need to pay respect for Edward. So I thought he was a very good communicator, a very good persuader, and also I thought he also had a very civil debating manner. So I'm just going to give him all 3 positive ratings. All right. Now, I'm done for the day, so I'm just going to go back into my dashboard. All right, so now I have 7 wins and 8 losses. So, and I'm still a gold rank. So, I mean, that's all right. I mean, I can still improve on myself. So that was Ronpa. If you guys are interested, please go on to ronpa.org and I don't know, challenge me anytime you want. I'll be happy to accept any. Thank you. God bless. And folks, before I end my presentation, I would just like to thank Noah, the clicker / the backend guy, and Edo, my backend guy, and Bogdan, our main front-end guy. We all work very hard on this. Yep. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Khan, and I love learning languages. Currently, I'm studying Japanese. My conversational skills are good, but I still need to learn lots of new words to be fluent. I like to learn Japanese by watching YouTube, then making flashcards from the videos I watched. Listening to native speakers in different contexts really improves my understanding of the language. And it's even better if I can combine this with flashcards, so I can retain my knowledge. But making flashcards manually from YouTube is too time-consuming. And I have to look up my own translations, copy them, paste them, and I need to make sure they're correct. That's why me and my team built this app called Flavie. So what is Flavie? It's simple. Flavie takes a video, turns it into flashcards, and lets you practice them. So I watched this video yesterday, and I've been meaning to add it to Flavie. So let's go to YouTube and grab the link. Then go back to Flavie, paste it, and get some flashcards. Awesome. Now I have all the sentences that was inside the video. Let's take a quick look at the first few seconds. Let's take a quick look at the first few seconds to see if we can find any interesting sentences. Okay, let's stop here. So he said "sotsugyō." I want to learn what that means. So that's going to be my first word. Let's continue watching.
から自立しなきゃと会社に入って早く仕事を覚えようと朝から晩までがむしゃらに働いていろんな仕事がそのうちにできるようになってきて気づけば部下がいて
Okay, now he said buka. That's another word I don't know. So that's going to be my second choice. Let's continue.
人間としても成長しようと一生懸命努力し続けていたでもふと 俺って何のために働いてんだろう、そんな風に思ったことありませんか？ある調査によると
Okay, and finally, chosa will be my last choice of word. So with these, let's go ahead and add them to a deck. Here, I have all the decks that I made before, or I can make a new one. So I'm going to go ahead and make a new one called TED Talk Vocab. Great. Now we have our deck, we have our flashcards, but they still need translations. So let's go ahead and add some. So this first one is going to be for Sotsugyo. I'm going to click on the word, and Flavie will give me back the translation. Awesome. Let's do the same for the next two. This next one will be for Buka. All right, and let's do the last one, which is going to be for Chosa. Awesome. Now my deck is ready, so let's go ahead and practice it. So this first one, it's Gakko o sotsugyo shite. Does anyone remember what sotsugyo means? Yeah, okay, let's flip it and see. Okay, we just saw it. It was kind of easy, so let's say easy. And the second one, Buka. Does anyone remember what it meant? Yes. So you get the gist of it. This is how you practice with Flavie, the flashcards you make. Let's say good. And for this last one, it's going to be Chosa, and that means investigation. Awesome. Looks like we're done with this deck. I'm going to go to my dashboard to take a quick look at my stats. Cool. So this is how I use Flavie to learn languages. Before I started using Flavie, it took me an hour a day to make 10 good flashcards. But now, thanks to Flavie, it takes me 3 minutes to go from video to flashcards to learning. And now I can use this extra time to be more productive. Thank you. I'd like to thank my team, Nicole, June, and Ed. Thank you guys, you helped me a lot.
Hello, my name is Laura, but my students love to call me Mrs. Aboud. I am from Texas, and I'm a first grade teacher. I love teaching. It's one of my passions, and I've done it for quite a while now. I love collaborating with my team. I love teaching first graders how to read and write and even tie their shoes. But there's one thing that myself and all of our coworkers hate doing, and that's at the end of the year, sorting students into their next year's class list. And the reason this is so difficult for us is because of all the needs and considerations that we have to take into account. Some students can't be placed in the same class. Some students are a part of our academic programs, such as special education, gifted and talented. We have some students who come from other countries, and so they're a part of our English Second Language Learning program that we call ESL. And all of this really matters to us because we're trying to create the very best learning environment for all of our students. Currently, the process is done by hand. Teachers are writing all of the student information on note cards. Hours and weeks of our time are being spent collaborating and meeting as a team and sorting these note cards into their next year's classes. Thankfully, there's Classy, which my team and I have come up with. Educators really want to be back in the classroom. They want to get back to what matters most to them, and that's their students. So my team here has created Classy, and let's take a look. I view my students, and I see all of my students from this year. Okay. Let's take a look at Anna. Anna has a medical condition. She's allergic to peanuts, so I go ahead and make that note. Awesome. And we have 2 international students, Taisei and Sabrina, and they're part of that ESL program. So I go ahead and note that. Great. All right. I have a student, Doug. Doug is a part of our Gifted and Talented program. He's an advanced reader, so I make sure to note that. But he's also come across some conflicts with students in class. And his family, as well as our administrators, have kind of decided that it's best that he's not placed with Sriram or Hazel. So I go ahead and note that. Great. Okay. I've already noted that Sabrina was in our ESL program. Nicole and Mario both are not part of any special program that we have, so I go ahead and move on. Edward is part of our special education program, so I go ahead and note that. His parents, as well as our administrators, have kind of made sure that he needs to be in Mrs. Teague's class. So I go ahead and assign him to Mrs. Teague. Awesome. And let's see, I can go ahead and check my notes, make sure everything looks great. Awesome. I feel good about this, so I go ahead and submit my class. And as the team lead, I have access to see all the other teachers who have also submitted their work. Okay, looks awesome. So now that myself and everybody on my team have submitted their classes, we can go ahead and create classes. Awesome. Although this process seemed like it was just a few seconds, this is really powerful for teachers. This is what has taken us so many hours and weeks over time and it's just done in a few seconds like that. So really the students are being placed in classes that are kind of help balance them for their next years. So here I can see that we have boys and girls. I can see how many students are in the ESL program, how many are in special education or gifted and talented. And if there's something that we need to change, Anna, for example, actually needs to be actually in Miss Reed's class, so I go ahead and move Anna to Miss Reed's class. Okay. And I can see that it's updating. Okay. Once myself and my team feel really good about this, Classy actually allows you to go ahead and download all this information that you see here. And I can easily print out the information and use it for next year. Yeah. Woo! Okay. This is really powerful for teachers because, as everyone knows, we just don't have a lot of time on our hand, and being very technical is kind of difficult as well. So for an app to create or help solve this problem is really something that I feel amazing. It's amazing. Thank you. I was looking for those words. So before I forget, though, I just really want to thank Chloe, Naoto, and David for all their hard work.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for coming here tonight. I'd like to start from a question. Who here has food allergy or intolerance or restrictions? Oh, quite a lot. I'm glad that I'm not alone here. I personally cannot eat beef. Technically, I could, but at the cost of a few days of being out of order. Before going, So I'm a Japanese, so I can read the label of the food products to stay away from offensive ingredients. But what about foreign tourists, for example? Japanese food labels are written mainly in Japanese. So that's the problem. I like to talk about my wife. She's a French. She's there. On the very first week she came to Japan, I called the ambulance and sent her to the hospital because she's allergic to shrimp, and probably she ate something which contains shrimp without knowing that. that's where the food decoder comes in. The application to make grocery shopping in Japan stress-free. It reads barcodes and labels with alert. Before going to food decoder, I'd like to introduce my friend Ilham. He's been in Japan for 3 months and he barely speaks nor read Japanese. Ilham.
Yes.
Why don't we have a curry party tonight?
Sure. Why not?
Why not? Why not? Do you have any food restrictions?
Yeah, I cannot eat pork.
Oh, so we need to be careful with that.
Yeah.
So, do you know food decoder?
Yes, I'm using it.
Oh, that's nice. Do you have an account?
Yes, let me show.
Cool.
Oh, wait. I forgot to put gelatin as my restriction here.
Oh, please put it. So, let's go to a supermarket.
Let's go.
Yeah. At the supermarket, we found 2 tempting packages of curry. On the packaging, it's written beef curry. So Ilham must be very happy, while I'm not. But before that, let's check what's inside. Ilham, could you pick up the yellow beef curry?
Oh, this one?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
We just need to scan the barcode. Oh, it's gonna take, it takes only a few seconds.
Oh, it contains pork.
It contains pork, although it's written beef curry. Might be misleading, I don't know. Let's forget about that. Why don't we take black and red packages? Oh, yeah.
This one? Okay.
That's it. That's also beef curry. I hope it's gonna be fine. Just scan it. Oop.
Oh, it's safe.
Oh, yeah, I understand it's safe, but oh, yeah. Oh, it's rotating. I guess we need the new function to stop rotation.
It's good now.
Yeah.
It's good now.
Oh, it's good now. Yeah, thank you. He's a good technician. So it contains some allergic food ingredients, but it's good for Ilham. He just needs to avoid pork. So let's keep it for future reference, maybe.
Yes.
To access the information again in any time. We are 2 grown men. Do you think 1 pack of curry is enough?
No, I don't think so.
Ah, you don't think so? Me neither. Why don't we take another pack of curry, like with blue package?
Oh,
Yeah, that's it.
okay.
That also tempting. Yeah, just scan it. Oh. Oh. Yeah, let's wait a second. Okay, oh. It says product not found. But don't worry. The food decoder is very smart. It reads the label of the food product and reads it instead of you and translate it into English and give back you the result with some alert with allergic food ingredients. Oh, let's wait in a few seconds. Oh yeah, good. Oh, it contains. It doesn't contain pork, so let's keep it. So why don't we? Okay, that's very nice. So no one can stop us from having a curry party tonight. Good. And since it's very nice that we already got ingredients, so we can add the product to food decoder. We just need to put name and ingredients if you want, but writing all ingredients is kind of annoying. So you just need to copy and paste what you've already got. Then you can add the new product to the food decoder. The food decoder grows with users. The more we scan products, barcodes, and labels, the better the food decoder is going to be. Okay, to add the new product, you take picture of the front label if you want, and add it. So it's adding. Okay, good. It's still safe for Ilham. Good. Before finishing my presentation, I'd like to introduce my great team. TK is always fun, and Ilham from Indonesia. Thank you very much.